All right, we're at the point in the season when we are discussing how much money to spend on Marquise Goodwin, and we have reached near full capitulation on Kyle Pitts. Going to be a great show.
Pat Fryer-Helmuth.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally this boys. You're right.
All right, special guest Mike Leone joining us. Not really, to enjoy himself, but merely out of function of trying to figure out our bids for our 10K league. Is that correct, Michael?
Yeah, I'm throwing out names, and you guys think I'm kidding.
I don't think you're kidding. I was in there. I was in the system.
You
I know
definitely made up something called Blackshear. I don't know what the bid
Blackshear is possibly the RB2 in Carolina if Hubbard is out.
Bank?
Huh?
I don't know, but it's Blackshear.
Quick trivia question. Who can name Blackshear's first name?
R.
Rashid? Is it Rashid?
Ooh, close.
Who's that guy on the Saints that
Raheem?
keeps scoring all the touchdowns?
I know, that's who I
was
keep thinking of. I feel like there's good vibes.
Isn't he Raheed Shaheed?
So, like, if that guy can score, maybe this guy can score.
Well, let's just set the table so people know what we're talking about. Our 10K league was actually going very swimmingly. We had Austin Eckler and Breece Hall, just the fucking stone nuts at running back. Rest in peace, Breece. Now you got Austin Eckler on bye.
One of the rare competitive Pitts-Lance teams, because that part of it was not going swimmingly, but we had some other stuff.
Ben, we
did a good job.
Slide on that one.
Oh my god.
So that's the state of our running back position this week. We're very excited to start Tyler Algier. I mean, he basically looks like Dalvin Cook in context to the rest of our roster. But now we're trying to figure out who to start at RB2, and some of the names being floated out. I mean, I swear to God, these guys are in the USFL. I don't even know if they're on an active roster.
I mean, we're
a legit pickup.
Starting Samaje P. Ryan right
We're
now.
not going to start. Well, I mean,
right now we are. I mean,
Snoop Connor. Do you add Snoop Connor to the list?
I'm getting exhausted.
Peterson already said that they're going to give Hasty more work, right?
I know, but if we don't get Hasty,
I mean, Blackshear.
We gotta have a contingency on Hasty.
We've got the contingencies Avery Williams, and we do the double Atlanta Falcons running back.
I'll say something I've never wanted to say in my entire life. Is Craig Reynolds available?
He is, but Smith practiced in full.
Yeah, but didn't he practice last week too?
Yeah, not in full. Full's a whole different ball game.
Well, Jamal Williams has not been running any routes, and Craig Reynolds has been. So if Swift's like limited, Reynolds might still play the passing down some.
This is so bad.
They're playing Miami. Miami forces every team to throw underneath to a degree. Definitely did that with Pittsburgh last week. Did with Buffalo.
Well, that's just because Kenny Pickett likes to do that.
All right, we're just hoping that we get Hasty and Malcolm Brown, and we'll figure
Josh
it out.
Allen threw 62 passes against this defense, at like the lowest ADOT of the season for himself.
I mean, we saw. I feel like it's
Craig Reynolds is it, dude. Josh Allen threw like 15 targets to his running backs.
Yeah, Craig Reynolds is not the guy.
Trust us, Uncle Andy. We've talked about Ronnie Rivers tonight.
Craig Reynolds is going to catch 5 passes this week. Book it.
5 passes. He might play 5 snaps.
Dude, I feel like I have some zero running back teams that are in insanely good shape, but it's like almost entirely based off who I drafted. Like I was saying to this Ben in the offseason, and like, dude, I have not had a good time the last 2 years getting successful waiver wire pickups. AKA I spent $300 on like Boone.
Yeah, no, I was in on Boone for sure.
Well, should we tell them about what our latest idea is with Avery Williams? If we start both Avery and Tyler Algier, this is how you beat Arthur Smith. He's trying to just ruin our lives, and we say, not so fast, buddy. We'll just play 2 running backs and play right into your hands. I think this is the psychological warfare we need.
If we had Huntley, I would be legit excited about it. Avery Williams is a passing down guy, which makes it a little bit concerning.
Yeah,
his yardage prop might be the same as Pitts.
And again, with this 10K team, so Gretch mentioned it. We lost Lance. We lost Brees Hall. Who else was the other guy we lost on this one?
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Yeah, rest in
Kyle
peace.
Pitts, yeah, we lost
Kyle Pitts. And this team, though, was hanging around. And then losing Brees Hall, man, I still haven't recovered from that.
It's been awful. It's really
Dude,
I haven't gotten back since he went down.
I think I had a delayed response until I did Fab tonight, and I'm going through these teams. I was seeing you guys in chat. I had a couple auction teams. They're not high money leagues. Like obviously our 10K is way more important, but these teams were just set up to smash because I did like the hero RB thing where you just spent all the money on receivers, and then it was built around Brees, and I had one with Brees and Pierce, one with Brees and Miles Sanders, and it was like just what I needed at running back. And now I feel, and both those teams randomly have Mahomes on bye, so I'm in multiple spots dropping Brees Hall for Sam Ehlinger. So that's where we're at.
It's so gross. I was lamenting it in Redacted too. I was saying where ETN got expensive, and then I just stopped drafting him and just hammered Brees Hall because Brees Hall just chilled out in the 5th round. And so my ETN ended up coming in light. And now ETN's, of course, the league winner, and Brees Hall is donezo. I'm depressed.
The ETN stuff's exciting. We have exposure to him. I mean,
we have some.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We got to find stuff to be happy about. It's been like the Lance thing. We didn't have a ton of Javonte, but like so many exciting rookies, second-year player types now out for the year. It's just been shitty.
It's been a little bit of a bummer this year.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like the scoring is down, efficiency is down, offensive efficiency is way down. That Kevin Cole tweeted out the EPA per play versus success rate, I think. But it's like the passing efficiency is like equivalent to 2009 right now.
Yeah,
it's like way less efficient. Like there's no big plays.
Yards per attempt before last week, it was as low as it had been since 2009 or 2008. Before 2010, yeah. Whatever season was the next low. It's been bad.
Yeah, it's rough, and the buys are just gonna magnify everything. Leone, you mentioned Ehlinger. He's probably going to be chalk this week at DFS at 4K. Should he be a chalk pickup in these fantasy leagues? Where do you slot him around some of these other streamer quarterbacks?
I have him around where like Lawrence is this week, and who is he? And like Fields. Like I think he's like in that tier, which is generally about as good as you're going to do on the wire for a quarterback pickup, unless like Danny Dimes is out there or something. He's probably not out there right now.
Ehlinger's just a mystery box. Like he could legitimately have upside. I mean, there's not.
All right, I need you guys to like tell me if I should be excited about this or not, because I am excited about it, and you're probably going to talk me out of it.
I mean, there could be upside, but like it could also be like 12 points a game.
Well, yeah, I mean, he could be terrible. He's mobile. So I want to talk about the mobile QB thing because I've written about this the last couple of weeks, but all the surprising offenses right now are mobile QB offenses. Like it's really hard to explain what's happened in the NFL. We know that the whole cover 2 shell thing started midseason last year. Defenses aren't letting teams go deep as much. We've seen ADOTs drop for a lot of pocket passers. Teams are making offenses take longer drives, matriculate the ball down the field, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know all of the intricacies of it. I was talking to Sean today. It wasn't for a podcast. It was off the podcast for like an hour about because there's not like a clear shift this year. But the thing that I pointed out on Twitter, I think, on Monday is all of the surprising offenses. You look at what the Bears did Monday night against the Patriots, the Giants, the Falcons, even like the Eagles on the high end being so good, but they're probably not only driven by mobility, but it's a mobile QB. And I think these defenses, whatever they're doing, it's also the surprisingly bad offenses. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert are guys that win through throwing, and they are getting hit by whatever these defenses are. They're all like having these games where their ADOTs come way down. They're checking down a ton. They're not. I mean, it's almost like staying on schedule matters more. Like we've always made fun of like success rate. It's not actually that important. Explosive plays matter, but defenses are taking away those explosive plays now. 4th down rates up. Sean was making a really great point that if you are running effectively, I mean, to me off the air, but if you are running effectively and you're willing to like get 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, and then run again on 4th down and get the first down, like even though your rushing doesn't look like it's actually productive on a per play basis, you're able to like success rate does actually seem to matter a lot. The passing game actually is more hit or miss. You're going to have some big passing plays, bigger plays. That's why we definitely see big pass plays, obviously, but you're going to have incompletions too. And if you're always trying to get first downs through throwing the ball, there's going to be a point on a drive where you're going to wind up in a 3rd and long and you're potentially going to punt. We've seen those pocket passers lose drives in key spots.
Yeah, I guess I said like Arizona's really struggled with a mobile quarterback.
They don't run the type of offense. They don't use him in the run game.
Maybe they don't as much as they should, but he's still, even with that said, he's still in the mobile quarterback bucket. And like, so what I'm like Seattle's a surprisingly good offense, and they don't have a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a 100% thing, but what I'm arguing is with Daniel Jones, with Mariota, with Fields, they are using them as weapons in the run game. And like Dan Orlovsky had a really interesting video on Twitter where he talked about how the Giants ran a freaking power play, 8 straight plays, which I think is the old Vince Lombardi play. You pull the backside guard, whatever. And then Daniel Jones on one of those 8 plays, it was the same look, but on one of those plays pulled it and ran around the other side. And so he ends up getting like a 20-yard gain. But what that does, having that ability to run, have the QB pull it. I mean, we always talk about the read option where it helps the running back efficiency up the middle because they have to contain the edges. But like if even on like these stretch plays, the backside of the play can't crash. And so now Barkley has more time to like read the hole and be patient to press the hole, when he's going to make his cut. The ways that like Dable is really intelligently using Daniel Jones' rush ability on like designed runs to set up also Barkley's rush efficiency. And then when they do throw, it's a numbers game, right? Like a lot like against like Lamar Jackson, everyone who does the film stuff is talking about how there's always a spy on the field, right? So you don't have the same depth to that, zone. You don't have the same number of players dropping into coverage on every key play. Or else they can scramble even on a called pass play, which we're seeing a lot from like Mariota and stuff. Anyway, I think you make a good point, but I don't think Kyler is a great, like I thought about Kyler, but they run a completely different offense. It's just shotgun straight up. It's not like a run based and using the QB mobility as a weapon in the run game and showing different designs. And
yeah, they don't run a shotgun. He should, but he's still like top 6 mobile quarterback in the league. Like,
sure. I guess it's probably just not, my argument would be it's not impacting the defensive schemes the same way some of these other mobile QBs might be. The whole point of that was Sam Ehlinger. I think the reason they went to him and not Foles, he adds mobility. Frank Reich's an intelligent coach. I think they're going to have a completely different look to their offense, right? They're going to run the ball and use Ehlinger's mobility some and then throw a lot less. And then
that's what I was thinking at first too, but I'm actually not convinced of that. They can't block. They can't block like at all. Their line is so bad. They can't block for the run game. The run game sucks. They're like, I think they're 31st in EPA per rush. They have Jonathan Taylor. They can't run the ball. Like, I don't know. I think they might be, they have actually moved up in pace and they've been doing this quick play stuff with Ryan. I don't think they do that. I think, cause that's not really Ellinger's game, but, or it's Ehlinger, I think, but I'm wondering if they don't go run heavy. Like, I wonder if they're more balanced. Which makes me a little bit excited about Ehlinger. This is the stat I wanted to ask you guys about on Ehlinger. So it's a little silly, but like the pressure thing has been the issue with Matt Ryan. They're getting to him constantly, and he's been terrible under pressure. Ehlinger in the preseason this year was PFF's #1 graded quarterback under pressure. Whatever, it's preseason. But he was also the #1 graded quarterback under pressure in 2021. So I'm kind of like, okay, like this is what he has to do, right? Only way he succeeds is if he's got under pressure. It's the only way. And he's 2 preseasons in a row, the top graded guy. So I'm kind of wondering, like, and then I watched some highlights and I'm like, he's actually pretty good as a rusher. He's got a kind of a big arm, likes to throw downfield. He might be kind of fun. He might be like scrambling, rolling out, chucking the ball downfield, getting some big plays.
I think you'll see their pressure rate come down too.
Yeah,
literally just
he's
based
more mobile?
on some of the offensive, like Matt Ryan standing back there in shotgun and being immobile is impacting the pressure rate, right?
That's probably true. Yeah.
Ehlinger being able to roll out, being able to do some stuff, but that's a really interesting stat. He had a really good preseason this year throwing the ball, like incredibly good, but it like overall was bad in 2021. But it's interesting that you said he was really good under pressure in 2021 too.
In both years. I mean, you guys do all the preseason stuff, Leone. Was he like your boy?
Oh, I don't touch the preseason stuff. That's not for me. Yeah, bring Levitan on.
I mean, it has to be that. Ehlinger, what do you think? Is it neutral at best for the pass catchers? Pittman?
I think it's bad. I think it could be really good for Pierce.
Yeah, it's going to be more vertical passing.
Vertical. So it's the Lance. You're saying it's the Lance thing. What we expected.
Yeah.
Where it's good for him, probably good for the running game, good for some play action, deep threats, and then the intermediate over the middle.
It's terrible for Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
You don't
it's
drop
the
him
worst
yet,
for
but you're
Pittman.
gonna drop him.
I mean, Pittman's gonna die at his ADP. It's definitely the worst for him.
Yeah, it's bad for Pittman.
I mean, he's contingent on volume and high catch rate. Like, it's got to be really bad.
He should get more bad vertical targets,
but
I think it's good for Pierce.
I thought Lance was also bad for everybody, so I'm kind of seeing the situations the same.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. There's a chance. His chance is better than Lance because Lance sucks. In all the metrics we look at, Lance sucks.
I guess for Pierce, the case is, the downfield stuff, but also like if there's a shift in target share, or there's just like more touchdowns to be had. I just don't see like any case for Pittman.
I think the case for Pittman would be Pittman's ADOT has been much lower this year. And so maybe I don't know where he is. It's something like 7.5, 8. And if he were to move to, like an 11 ADOT, that would help make up for a few less targets. It's not like Ryan's been playing great.
Yeah, it's still, he's got like
6.8 this year.
Yeah, he's got 72% catch rate. I don't know. His yards per target's about the same as it's been for his career.
I mean,
he's just super fragile.
Yeah,
but I was like against Pittman to start, so I'm like interpreting through that eyes a little bit. Like he almost got saved by the way this offense was running. I'm also like,
I didn't realize we were on the same page on that, Leone. I was too.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about JT too, just because if Ryan was halfway decent, what they tried to do the last 2 weeks would just be like the pure nuts for JT, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he caught like seven passes last week, and he played
Deion
like
Jackson, same thing.
Yeah,
they're running a ton of plays, throwing short passes, but they couldn't score, which is the biggest issue. So hopefully they score now. Hopefully he's a little bit more efficient, but we were close to getting the pure nuts with JT, as bad as it looked.
You, Leone, if I'm not mistaken, I think you read the article I wrote yesterday with the running backs and mobile QB thing, because I think we did talk about that a little bit, right? Did you like that term that I made up, that mobile QB tax thing? Like, it feels like you're talking about that a little bit. Where like when you have my point was there's like 10% or 20% of the offensive plays don't even get out. To the audience, don't even get out of the quarterback's hand in these offenses with mobile QBs, because they're either runs, scrambles, or design runs, or they're sacks. They tend to take sacks at a higher rate because they extend plays. And you're talking about like with Lance, it was bad for everyone, in part because he's going to run more, right? Probably also going to take sacks at a higher rate. It might also shift their pass rate a little bit. That's sort of what you're saying with Ehlinger too. Whereas with Matt Ryan, you're talking about when you're throwing more, you also run more plays. And so you're running fewer plays, and you're losing like 10 or 20% of those that are not even going to a skill position player. I can't remember what team it was. I think it was Atlanta, actually. Had 45 plays last week. Matt Ryan ran like 9 times or something, or had like 9 rushes plus sacks.
Yeah.
Mariota. What did I say? Sorry, Mariota. So 45 plays is all, because they're so run heavy, and 9 of them don't even leave Mariota's hand. There's only 36 plays that actually go toward a skill position player. You compare that to like the Matt Ryan offense or the Joe Flacco offense, when they end up throwing 50 or 60 passes, and there's so much more opportunity for the skill players. It's a massive gap sometimes.
Yeah, I know, like even doing the preseason projections, like with Atlanta, that is one of the things I was saying was like what's happening now is like 0th percentile. Like it's like unforeseen. But them being bottom 5 in pass attempts was like really on the table, just because they were trading off. Their number of plays was going to be reduced with Mariota. The number of dropbacks that were going to be sacks were higher. The number of dropbacks that were going to be scrambles were higher. And yeah, it's probably the same thing with Ehlinger. There's 3 categories that you're losing in. It's just a lot to overcome for pass catchers.
For all skill position, really? Because you said you thought it might be a concern for Taylor too. Like
I'm concerned for Taylor because but like he has more ways to make it up though. Like,
right.
Okay. Like his efficiency increases because, playing with a mobile quarterback, if they do the play call, like all the stuff you were kind of just talking about with Daniel Jones and whatnot and Barkley, like if that stuff comes to fruition, or if he's good enough just to get him in fucking scoring range so he can get some touchdowns, like there's more ways he can make it up. But pass catchers, like, I mean, so much of that is just how many balls are you catching?
Yeah.
Leone, I know we're reaching near full capitulation on Kyle Pitts, but you guys took some overs over at ETR, right? Is there a little life in the Kyle Pitts here?
Dude, I have to. We do our rest of the season top 150, and it's just like me fending off everyone who just wants the top 150 to be like order of fantasy points scored the last 3 weeks. And we Mark and I held firm, and we kept Kyle Pitts as tight end 6, and
okay,
the people didn't like it.
Where did they want it? Like tight end 15?
We dropped him quite a lot, but I don't know. I still feel like I'd rather have Kyle Pitts than Tyler Higbee, like just in the off chance.
Who are your top 5 then? I mean, I guess you might not want to just read them off, but
Andrews, Kelsey,
he's got Pitts 6.
Goddard,
I don't know that people are all that interested.
Kittle, Waller.
Kittle, Waller, and who else?
Goddard.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Greg, you still holding strong Pitts at tight end 2?
It's funny. I've been getting a lot of these, like, I drafted Pitts over Andrews because of you things. And I mean, no one wants to hear this.
Yeah. With that, sorry about that burner.
Did I send that in? I thought I hit delete. I thought I just wrote that and deleted it.
First of all, in our 10K league, we already went over. Can we break down how we landed on Pitts? Because we didn't expect
to, but sure.
Like, do you want to, Ben? I mean, that's.
I wrote in the chat at the time.
I would personally not like to do this, Gretch.
I wrote Pitts or Andrews here, right? And then
Leone and I. Then we discussed in person. I wish that we had this via text, but we do not. We discussed in person. Leone and I voted Andrews. You guys voted Pitts. Leone, I think, already like knew in his heart that we were going to take Pitts, so he didn't have like much of an argument. But I still feel like exposure-wise, we really.
You know what?
I was pushing for Pitts. I just remember Leone telling me to announce it, and I was drunk and excited.
We had like maybe not on the board when we were on the board. I don't think you were like crazy pro Pitts, but like the conversations preceding it was kind of like
we were looking at Pitts in that spot, but we didn't.
We're taking Pitts in the 3rd round. It was 2v2, and
so the point
I didn't realize how pro Andrews Pat was, and I might have like pushed it a little bit harder had I. But
to that point as well, like you're more pro Andrews than I was, but we also, as ship chasing, had like a fuckload of Pitts exposure and 1 share of Andrews. So I was like, kind of like, well, let's just take Andrews. Like it's whatever.
But we had a 50.
But wait, no, I got to defend myself here. The point I was going to make, because I actually went back and looked at this, is I ranked Andrews ahead of Pitts in my rankings until August 19th. When their ADPs converged, for almost all of August.
I remember reading it. You single-handedly push Pitts' ADP up and then use that ADP as a justification for ranking Pitts ahead of Andrews.
Okay, but I had Andrews ahead of Pitts for most of August. Is the point?
The market is efficient.
No.
We must listen to the market.
I reneged my Amon-Ra St. Brown flag plant because the steam was coming in too hot. You can't use that argument, Michael.
No, that would be the opposite. Ben said because the ADP was rising, that justified moving Pitts ahead of Andrews because the market is sharp.
Okay.
But okay. Yeah. I obviously am not trying to say I didn't love Pitts and take him everywhere.
Dude, we had the year before we had a 2v2. I wanted Barkley. You guys wanted JT. and we went JT and it worked out. Like sometimes the coin flips work out, sometimes they
Right.
don't.
I just liked them both. The main thing I'm like,
That was
publicly,
very mature of you to say that, Leone.
I know that I was like branded with Pitts really heavily, and it's gone really poorly. But
we're all trying to find who did this.
I was branded with Pitts.
Fine. I branded myself, but everyone
This is like a Nexium.
I
What are you talking about? You were doubting him.
Everyone's just taking that as if I hated Mark Andrews, and literally the whole offseason I was saying still beyond Mark Andrews.
Okay, how much Mark Andrews did you take? How much Pitts?
I did
Dude,
take
if
a
you
lot.
had Pitts ahead of Andrews in prime draft season, you never got Mark Andrews.
I took Andrew. I have Andrews on like 3 teams.
But do you know what I mean though? Like Pitts had a worse ADP than Andrews. So if you had Pitts ranked ahead of Andrews, you would have never gotten Andrews in prime draft season.
I didn't when their ADPs were separate. No, because Pitts went ahead of Andrews on some. I took Andrews after Pitts in some spots too. Like he was
Gotcha.
still.
I guess that didn't happen. I didn't see that happen.
It's all right.
That happened a lot.
Now
Because
too,
late
so it's a
FFPC.
wash.
That happened
all
a lot.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't even.
The tilting part about
what
this is that Pitts his yards per target is sucked, but like he's earning volume like decently on a per route basis. Actually, like really strong on a per route basis. He's got a deep A dot. He's kind of who we wanted him to be, except the yards per target sucks. And he's on the Falcons. Like the Falcons part of this is just so much worse than I think. I mean, I just never saw this outcome. And like Ben, I know like for you, like part of the Andrews stuff was what if they turn into the Ravens again?
Right.
And you kind of had some concerns about him, which they, by the way, they did last week. So, you know, it's not completely off base at all. But like the Falcons stuff, they're worse than the Ravens. This is like the old school Ravens, but like 2 or 3 times worse than that because they're not good. They don't put up points. They suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like for me, Andrews had a higher yards per route run than Pitts. His team was, I had them projected to throw more. They were projected to score way more points. Just like literally any tiebreaker across the board was Andrews. There just like wasn't a single one for Pitts other than that. Like maybe he's the best tight end ever.
So I thought there was more uncertainty in Atlanta's team level volume. I was too confident that Baltimore's team level volume would come down. I didn't foresee J.K. Dobbins not being healthy the whole year, right? Yeah. I thought their running backs would be healthier. A lot of what happened last year that went into their pass rate being so high, didn't expect. So it's funny. The Pitts play was in part on my end. You make a good point that you were expecting Atlanta to come in really low on their pass volume, but it was sort of fading some of the team level stuff or the certainty of the team level stuff on a play like Atlanta, which I think has paid off in some other spots. You can look at, I talked about this recently, Sean ranking Rashad Penny and Ken Walker number 2 and 1 in a 0 RB countdown. And everyone was like, what the fuck's he doing? Geno Smith runs this team. They're not going to be in running back production. And they've been better from an offensive perspective. And both of those running backs look like, I mean, obviously Penny gets hurt, but it has paid off because of
the Dolphins is another
the team
one.
level stuff.
The Dolphins is when we were sure they weren't
like,
going to be pass heavy, and they're pass heavy, and it's
pass
all
heavy.
concentrated. It's perfect.
There's a lot of
had it both ways though. It wasn't like.
But the funniest part about that is I was too certain on Andrews.
That's true.
Team level stuff coming down, and it
didn't all have to be positive.
Yeah, like you could have been. I mean, I mean, you could have been in on Penny and Walker and not in on Pitt. Like they didn't have to go hand in hand.
So the idea with Pitts though was that it couldn't be this bad. And Leone's sitting here telling us that he projected Atlanta to throw 50 passes through 5
We
games.
talked about it several times in the offseason. We were like, there's no way they can be bottom 5. And I'm like, Ben, they can be bottom 5 very easily. And
I don't
you were
think
like,
I said
I hope
no
that's
way they
not.
can
Yeah,
be
I think you literally
bottom
just said, I hope that's not true. I think
we
we had a
came from the
conversation
future
where you
was
said
like, Mariota will have 12 passes in week 7.
I'm not talking about bottom 5. I'm talking about fewer passes per game.
This is clearly no one could have projected this. I mean, this is clearly the 0th percentile outcome, but it still wouldn't be good if they were throwing the ball, 27 times a game.
It'd be a fuck ton better.
Sure, anything would be better.
I actually think Pitts could be okay if they threw 27 times a game. Like he's
he could
playing
be okay,
that well.
But
London, by the way, London.
That's what's so frustrating. If they were throwing 27 times per game, it wouldn't be this ridiculous. It wouldn't be this ridiculous.
No, of course not. And that's why I still have Pitts ranked TE6. I mean,
I love it.
One thing we did do is in spots where we had Pitts, we didn't take London. partially with the idea of like we need someone to like earn the target share. This is not an offense that we want multiple high end pieces of. So we need one of these guys to win. If any of them has won, it's London, but neither of them has obviously won because the offense is too bad. But at least we didn't build any Atlanta stacks. We didn't do that. We do have that.
People who drafted
we did start Mariota for like 5 straight weeks, so we did have a stack actually on our
You're right.
10K team.
Never mind.
And we've got the Algier Pitt stack this week, so we're really pro Atlanta.
I'm telling you, if you're looking for sentiment signals of the absolute bottom of the Kyle Pitts thing, I think we just hit it. I think we just hit Kyle Pitts rock bottom sentiment. It can't get any worse than it is right now.
I think it could get worse.
The chat is confidently taking Robert Tonyan over Pitts rest of the season, and there's people.
That's what I mean.
What about Dulcich?
The capitulation is in.
Is it Dulcich over Pitts season yet?
Do you guys think I can play Pitts in the Thunderdome for a third straight week?
Yes, you can. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to hear about that.
Leone, you can play a quarterback and Kyle Pitts for a combined $8K salary. I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Now we're talking.
So somebody says Pitts over under 1.5 TDs. I actually do think the way back for him is TDs. He's not been.
We're finding.
He only has one touchdown, but he should have had one last week. Like the running.
Yeah, he should have.
He don't score any points though.
This isn't how Ryan says. At least Dulcich can score TDs on American soil. This is not how you make a case for Greg Dulcich this week, son.
Yeah, that's true, man. Do you know he's in London or
no? London is the kryptonite.
Dude, did you guys hear about this Russ thing? Apparently, he was like on the way to London. He was doing high knees in the aisle of the plane.
Did you see KJ Hamler's quote retweet?
No.
He confirmed it.
Oh my God. That is the most obnoxious thing.
He goes, no BS. No BS. This dude, was my take, was like, I can see like long flight, you're stretching out, walk in the aisle, doing fucking high knees on a plane. I would have lost my shit.
Throw him out. Throw him out of the plane.
His whole quote was like, everybody was knocked out. I was doing like he made it like he like threw everyone else under the bus for being asleep. And like, what is he? He's probably waking them up. He's probably like,
If you're on a plane, you're only ever trying to sleep. No one's truly asleep on a plane. You're always like one knee lift away from being fully awake. This dude ruined the flight for his whole team.
He's so Lauren had never seen the Mr. Unlimited video, and I showed it to her last night, and I hadn't watched it in a while, and I just remembered this guy's the absolute worst. Like, he's the most cringe human I've ever seen.
That stuff is bad, but like, he's like he makes weird social media posts or whatever, but like the high knee thing, like
no, but that
actually makes me not like him.
That's that's just him across.
But he's doing something to someone else. He's doing something to a whole team of people there.
My reaction tweet this today on this was there's never been a clearer personification of a gift than Russell Wilson's whole vibe being Michael saying, "Why are you the way that you are?" to Toby. Like, that's everything I read about him. I'm like, why are you the way that you are? Why?
Yeah.
All right, let's squeeze in a few other waiver wire takes for the people. Someone had asked about Marquise Goodwin. When I was going through our waivers this week, he was available in virtually every league. There are some leagues where we need wide receiver help. We really didn't discuss him much at all. I guess it's a little ambiguous on the DK Metcalf timeline, but Leone, I'll go to you first. Should we be interested in Marquise Goodwin? Scored 2 touchdowns, concentrated offense.
This is the first I've heard of picking up Marquise Goodwin. I'm not great at waivers. I'm not sure why I'm on this show, but
what do you mean? What do you mean you're telling me you're not projecting Marquise Goodwin this week?
No. Dude, Marquise Goodwin, first of all, he's made out of glass. So yeah, as a Bills fan, he caught a really cool touchdown in San Francisco. This is the hard hitting out. Let me look what we have for DFS though.
I thought you were gonna have a hot take on Marquise Goodwin.
I don't know.
Leone's response. I don't know where I am right now.
I just like I haven't considered picking him up. We haven't projected for 9 points with DK Metcalf out.
Yeah, I've lowered him in the list everywhere.
So where are you sliding that market share?
It just kind of spread out over everybody, and I think they're going to do a lot of, the bullshit multiple tight end stuff with Fant and Disley. So we have those guys projecting almost as much as Goodwin, and then a little bit of Eskridge.
And maybe they pass less. They've been balanced to slightly pass first this year, but that's harder to do if you're replacing Metcalf with Marquise Goodwin.
This is a great question. Yeah, our Bertollet last week, a little disappointing. I'm trying to see who's the rando popping up on the kicker list this week. No one in the top that is off your radar here. I'm sorry, I don't have a rando name for you. I really don't. These are all household names. Mike Badgley.
Where's the kicker chasing video?
I don't know. It's too early in the night for that. Other bids, people who are available, this was another just super weak waiver wire run.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who. We had Shakir available in one of our leagues. Definitely think he's worth picking up.
I've had Elijah Moore in a couple. It's that kind of player that is like, I saw Matt Stafford available. If you need a QB, it's like, well, he probably shouldn't be. Not that he's good. It's that type of player that is like.
We had Tony available in one. I asked you guys about bids. I don't know if you
Tony is that was who I was going to bring up. I'm a masochist.
I'm putting in the private chat there what we put in if we should up it.
Kyron should be added everywhere. He is not available in any of our leagues.
Yeah, he's not available. I think your bid's probably good what you put in chat, Pat, but I just don't think I think people are sick of Tony missing practice and he didn't practice again.
Yeah, he might not play a game this season. It's crazy. With like a hamstring injury. Like I don't.
This is a theme too that I've been seeing. Lawrence mentioned James Cook. Javier mentions Hines. I know Gainwell has been dropped. What do you guys think about some of these pass catching backs who haven't done much at all?
Man, I've been going after more like the pure handcuff types and hoping to get lucky because those pass catching backs, like part of their value is supposed to, like Hines. Hines should be owned everywhere, but dude, I feel like most of my leagues, like there's just nothing out there. Zamir White's been out there in a few. I've been picking him up just as a handcuff. I've been taking Haskins in a few spots. It's not great out there. I think Breida is probably the main backup. Like I'm just mostly hoping to get lucky. There's not a lot of startable players, at least in my leagues. Hasty's like a smart pickup everywhere, though.
This is the name we need to talk about because he's available everywhere. Njoku, it seems like everyone's kind of all over the board on this one. Gretch, where are you at on Harrison Bryant?
I think he's all right. I think he's better as like a secondary tight end. This is just sort of anecdotal. I haven't even gone back and looked at his numbers, but I feel like when other tight ends were out in the past, he disappointed. I don't know if that rings a bell for anyone else. I literally didn't really dig into him that much this week. I don't think that his routes are going to just shoot up through the roof. He's more like, isn't the whole deal with him that he's not a good blocker? He's not like a 3-down guy. Like I guess I think part of what Njoku was doing so well is because of David Njoku. And
yeah, that's where I'm at. His yards per target is awesome. David Njoku's yards per target was fantastic. He had a 21% targets per route run, which is good, but his ADOT's low, and he had a yards per target over 10, which is like ridiculously high for like a 7-point whatever ADOT. So that made him a lot more fun than another guy who's not a freak athlete will be. And then you also have to deal with the fact that he was earning targets pretty well. Harrison Bryant has an 18% targets per route run. He has a yards per route run slightly below 1, and he probably runs less routes. So it's like I'm having trouble getting any excitement about him.
It's not a high volume pass game, right? Like Njoku has been really like earning a lot of volume for a limited number of routes and limited number of.
He has, but it's not even that high because he has a 7.4 ADOT. Like his weighted targets per route run isn't even that good. It's all just he has 2.14 yards per route run because his yards per target was unsustainably high. And now you're putting in a guy who isn't a freak athlete and has no shot at doing that.
Yeah, this is total change of subject, but are you guys bidding on any of the Dallas running backs?
That was my question. They've only been carrying 2 on game days, right?
Yeah, so I guess they have Malik Davis and shout out to Canisius High School, Quadre Allison. I don't know the order right now of those two.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to throw them into our NFC.
Yeah, throw them in. Throw them both in.
You absolutely have to.
It's 9:56, guys. Have you seen that site? Like, I don't know.
Fix your site. Leone, of course, referencing. So it sounds pretty bearish on Zeke this week, both an MCL and a thigh bruise. They also have a bye next week as well.
And he's Zeke.
And
Allison is a 1-for-1 with Zeke. I mean, same exact back, pretty much, right? Just a big dude that runs really slow.
Didn't run slow on the field.
It was fun that Zeke had like that one good game, and then the following week he looked like total ass. It was like that's all he had in him. That's all he had.
Yeah, I was trying to
get Leone
that out today too. Is who's going to be the second back for? Because he should definitely be picked up. Whoever that is.
I don't know who Malik Davis is, honestly, but I feel like Allison has some NFL experience and would probably give him the nod, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They clearly don't
I've heard of him.
like anyone else if they haven't had a third running back active on game days. Enrico Doddle's on IR, I believe.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Yeah, okay. Racif says Mike Davis has been playing as the third, but special teams only.
He's on the practice squad. He's been playing. I'm looking at the roster right now. He's currently on the practice squad. So has he gone up for game day and then back down? Oh, last 2 weeks he's been up. Yeah, only special teams.
Hey, God. Malik Davis. Sorry, not Mike Davis. Started to get Leone was starting to get hot under the collar there when I mentioned Mike Davis. I like the Allison call. That seems about right. I like this. The way we hedge our Tony Pollard love is by starting Allison, who then gets used just as a 1-for-1 Zeke replacement.
The only league I have Tony Pollard in is a only like managed league. Is a home league in which I've lost Javonte Williams, Rashad Penny, and Breece Hall. It's been a real tough go.
This is another one the chat keeps talking about tonight. Dearness Johnson. I guess everyone's getting excited about these potential Kareem Hunt trade rumors. I mean, where are we at with this?
I threw him on a bunch of bids at $1. I mean, he's $1. You don't spend more than $1, but if he's on your roster and they trade Kareem Hunt, like you're pretty psyched.
He's still, you're trying to hit like a 2 to 3 leg parlay, right? Like you need Hunt traded, then you need Chubb hurt, and then you got to also hope Jerome Ford isn't ahead of him.
Well, sure, but you're hitting a 1 leg parlay to want him on your roster. You'd be picking him up if Hunt got traded.
If Hunt gets traded, he's immediately starting for our 10K team. So
I mean, that's not a good way to benchmark this for our listeners, Leone. Literally, anyone would be immediately starting.
Could you start on our 10K roster?
Like the listeners might pass that test.
How much does P. Ryan project for this week?
How much does P. Ryan project for is where we're at.
That's tough.
I'm trying to think if there was any other. If there were any other names available, running back was absolutely disgusting this week.
We've got a bid in for Boston Scott, who's arguably Miles Sanders' direct backup, and Gainwell would just do what he does. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm like way more on the handcuffs than like guys that are startable because those guys are just so bad.
You guys want to talk about? Oh, it's 7:00. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire got benched this week.
Oh my God!
Probably got to get Ronald Jones back into some rosters.
Even I don't agree with
that. Even I don't think he's a good pickup still.
And then CEH scored a huge touchdown in the second half, and it was basically just a split.
Just wait.
I mean, the moment he's active, I'm picking him up everywhere, but I don't think you'll have any competition.
That's why you add him now.
You can get him for $1 then. No one's going to care. They're going to be like, he's active, and no one will pick him up.
Yeah, I'm with Pat.
So, we'll lose our goddamn minds if he's active. That'll be our fucking Super Bowl. Just him.
Well, yeah, I will be excited. We'll pick him up everywhere for $1.
5 offensive snaps and get 3
We'll do
carries.
a victory lap here, but we'll get him everywhere. We'll get him everywhere for $1.
I don't know.
So
I don't know about him or Sky Moore.
And then plays before we can add him, and he runs for, 60 yards.
I mean, I think they're just going to they just want guys for specific roles. I don't think this is like CH being banished. Like we know CH is not that good, and Pacheco's like a decent runner. I don't really see where Rojo fits into this.
To me, the answer is Jerick McKinnon. Like, why haven't we just done what we did at the end of last season to make Jerick McKinnon the bell cow again?
Yeah,
because it's not the
he
playoffs.
Still is playing the most.
I'm convinced
snaps.
because he's old and it's not the playoffs yet. They're just
He's playing the most snaps,
McKinnon.
running the most routes. He did in this game play the most snaps over both Pacheco and CEH.
McKinnon looks good, man.
Yeah.
He's definitely their best back.
He doesn't get a ton of touches, but he's been out there the most for sure.
Yeah, CH has actually like been decent this year.
Yeah, although his yards per hour run was like super high, and it's like fallen every week. I check it, and he just sinks slower.
Yeah,
so,
I mean it's so like it was so high that it probably had to come down just because he was running hot. Like that stuff's pretty volatile. But I don't think they're making CH inactive. Like, is that what you're suggesting, Ben? That they're going to make CH inactive?
I think it's one possible outcome. Yeah.
I mean, they probably should try it out. Shouldn't they try it out?
Andy Reid's
absolutely not.
Andy Reid's watched CEH for how many years now, and they just keep going back to the fucking well. Like, how much more information can Andy Reid get on him?
Well, this is my thing.
His yards per carry for his every year is like 4.4, which is like not bad.
Yeah, he's been like fine on paper, but this is my whole thing. He's been fine on paper. He looks good statistically if you look at him. And yet they went out of their way to announce that he wasn't going to start, even though they don't have enough running back depth that they were still using him. If you watch the games, he literally looks like he adds nothing beyond what's blocked and what's there.
Yeah, because he does. Like, if you look at the rush yards over expected, he's horrible because he gets to face like all these light boxes. He's actually on one of the few good passing offenses. Like, he should be fucking crushing. He should be crushing. Pacheco, whoever's back there, should be crushing. I mean, it looks like he's like running back 40 in rush yards over expected per attempt. He's been, so I would argue he has been pretty bad.
41 qualified backs. Yeah, that's my point. It's like, even though his numbers look good on paper, I was joking about watching the games, but the signal for me is that Andy Reid had decided, and the team decided to come out and announce that they weren't going to start the guy. Like, to what end? Other than to just say, we're not happy with him. Like, they're just making it clear
I think like that's a little overblown. Like, someone like, do you know how fucking many people are digging for every nugget each week? And like someone let loose that Pacheco is going to start, and then CH has 6 carries, which is like not that out of line. I mean, every game except one, he's between 7 and 9 before that. Like, I think that's just reading a lot into it. Like, I'd be really shocked if he was just inactive.
Other than his routes came down.
It didn't really change.
Yeah.
No, I agree,
Pacheco
though,
did
I thought
start.
It was strange, like from a
but like, what's the point of Pacheco? Like, I don't know. It feels like
they want to get Pacheco more carries because CH isn't that good, like you said. But like, it's a leap to then go to like they're going to make CH inactive.
No, that's just wish casting. Now, but I am willing to do that because I like wish casting that he will get made inactive. But there's no evidence that he'll get made inactive.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm not like that. I said it was one possible outcome. I didn't say it was more than one.
It is one possible outcome.
Yeah.
But so like, if you're picking up Ronald Jones instead of like, I don't know, let's say Hassan Haskins, like which one's more likely to work out?
Oh, Haskins.
Is Hassan Haskins available at our 10K?
He's not.
What is the payoff for both of those guys? I think the payoff's higher for Rojo, even though the likelihood is 0.001.
I mean, at this point,
payoff's higher for Rojo, but it's a much smaller chance.
It is. I don't even know if that's true. Like,
I think it is. He's
like
on the
Rojo's.
Chiefs,
Rojo's ceiling is like he's what Pacheco has been the last 6 weeks. Like that's
not his absolute ceiling. I mean, his absolute ceiling would be CH.
Here we go.
CH and
his
Pacheco
absolute ceiling is Gale Sayers meets LaDainian Tomlinson.
If he was the 2 down back, and now this is absolute ceiling, and it's not going to happen. But if he was the 2 down back with McKinnon, he'd be very startable. I don't know if Haskins would be. Oh, that's startable. It's slightly higher.
All right. Enough Ronald Jones.
I didn't do this, by the way. I would like on the record. Ben did this. Ben did this and got me to finally come in and close the argument for him.
His ceiling's a 98-yard touchdown.
There you go. Chris fucking gets it. Chris gets it.
That is definitely the ceiling. Oh man.
Yeah, roll the clip of Pat singing the Rojo song. That's what
I know.
we need.
I literally just went to look to see if I ever uploaded that to StreamYard. I don't know if I ever uploaded that to StreamYard.
Oh,
So
no.
Not that
Probably
memorable.
bad that we spent 32 minutes of this show talking about either Ronald Jones or Kyle Pitts.
what do you think this show is?
Yeah, what are you talking about? 32
You haven't
minutes.
even-
I mean,
You
you
ever
clearly,
been on shit, Jason?
clearly weren't watching on the summer.
All right, I do have some bids starting to come in, so we can at least pull some of these up and see what people are doing on the waiver wire out in these streets. We got this one from our yacht club. Okay, we got Mecole Hardman 111, Marquise Goodwin 89, Kadarius Toney went for 74. Were we the 61 bid here for Ship Chase Yacht Club?
Yeah, we were the 61.
I told Pat not to up it. I'm sorry.
Wait, Robbie Anderson was available. That one looks nice at 45.
I put him in a buck for a bunch of
Okay.
leagues. He was available in a lot of leagues.
Hasty goes 44. We get Harrison Bryant 36. Next bid 19. I don't hate that at 36.
No.
Keontae Ingram 33 with what? Both James Conner and Darrell Williams back at practice today. Daniel Jones 18. Yeah, that one stings on the Kadarius Toney. Let's see
I
here.
thought we might want to go higher, but yeah, I don't know. At the same time, any like 102 or something feels like a little rich. I don't know.
Jesus, this one, Harrison Bryant goes for 175. This is in our stat chasing league with Drico and Sam. By the way, those guys continue to crush it over on stat chasing. That's every Tuesday night for YouTube members and then goes live on Wednesday. Be sure to check that out on the channel. Mecole Hardman, 150. Garoppolo, 110. My God, no other bids. You hate to see it when you put in a 110 bid for Jimmy Garoppolo. Marquise Goodwin hovering in this same range around 65. Caleb Huntley, 49. Tyler Bass, 48. We put in I thought I was being like spicy, putting in like $7 bids for Tyler Bass, but $48.
Should I not have dropped Tyler Bass? I dropped Tyler Bass in a league.
Oh yeah, we dropped him in some. Weren't going to carry the kicker through the.
I
the
held him in
defense
the
here.
league.
You held him.
Kickers. Yeah.
All right, let's see what the Buckeye
Fucking
Boomers.
Ben's holding 2 kickers. He won't do it in the
Oh,
playoffs.
dude.
Though. When
He
Can we
dropped
talk-
Kyle Pitts in that league.
Dude, seriously?
No, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Hey guys.
He held Tyler Bass and dropped Kyle Pitts.
Oh, okay. Josh sent me the screenshots out of order. I was like, was the top bid in this league really a $2 Greg Joseph? Was the waiver wire that picked over? Harrison Bryant 111 here. Marquise Goodwin 49. Tyler Bass 28. Elijah Mitchell 25. He was kicking around in some leagues.
Probably
Nothing
thrown
to it.
back, right? Like he'd been thrown back once, maybe, and then thrown back again. I don't
Brady.
think that's a bad cut necessarily with the CMC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess he should be rostered.
He should probably be rostered.
Man.
We're talking about Hassan Haskins and Rojo. Elijah
Yeah.
Mitchell should be rostered.
What is his timeline?
I don't know, a couple more weeks, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
All of these bids, I got another one coming through here. All of these are fairly similar. Harrison Bryant here. This is our slow bros. 156. Daniel Jones, 79. JaMychal Hasty, 53. Oh, Damian Williams kicking around, 47. Marquise Goodwin, 26. I like the Burkhead pickup, 21. Robbie, 16. Elijah Mitchell
What's your-
goes for 4 here.
What's your Burkhead take? I'm thinking about cutting him in some leagues.
I don't know. To me, it's like, is Burkhead what like Zamir White is for the Raiders, where it's like Dameon Pierce now has this such juicy role that if he went down, he would have like a
That's a good
pretty
call.
nice role.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, I like
contingent.
that.
I wasn't thinking
Yeah,
about his
it's-
contingent value.
I feel like both those guys in a weird way have seen their value go up, even though just because we've seen the role be a lot more valuable than we expected.
Yeah.
Samir
talked
was
about that
available
too.
in one of our leagues. We bid on him, not a ton, but
We talked about that with White last week, right?
Well, and it fucks with people's heads because the more that, the Dameon Pierce, the Josh Jacobs, the entrenched starters see their roles increase, the less people want the backup because they're like, oh, they have no standalone value. That and it's actually that their contingent value is probably growing in that case.
I did that with Burkhead. I was like, what's the point? But I wasn't even thinking of what if Pierce gets hurt. I'm just resigned to the fact that Pierce is going to go on to be a top 10 running back.
All of our favorite running backs are destined to get hurt. The ones we don't like are just smashes that are indestructible. Our brains are.
It does feel that way, right? Like Dameon Pierce and Josh Jacobs are fucking indestructible.
Leone fucking loves it. He's got a shit ton of Dameon Pierce and Josh Jacobs.
He doesn't have a shitload of Dameon Pierce.
I don't have the shitload of either. I have
mentioned one of
Pierce
your
is
whole
on my
team
high
says
scoring
Pierce.
underdog team, but that was before I thought Pierce was a good pick before his ascension, and then I thought it was absurd, and it turns out that it was not absurd.
See, I told you this Marquise Goodwin sentiment was out there. 188 here in this league. Harrison Bryant 149, Campbell 95.
I mean, this is depressing as fuck. Look at these.
Would you rather talk about Kyle Pitts?
Snoop Connor.
No, but like, Jesus Christ. Marquise Goodwin is leading the bidding. Marquise Goodwin? What fucking year is this?
I mean, was there ever a year that would have been good?
Yeah, no, there wasn't.
Takes me back to when Levitan was doing his Robert Foster bit. Wasn't Robert Foster Marquise Goodwin before Marquise Goodwin?
Oh, Marquise Goodwin was Robert Foster before Robert Foster.
God, my timeline's all messed up.
Well, wasn't Marquise Goodwin? Didn't he like leave and go run in the Olympics and was basically like out of the NFL, and then he came back and was like kind of good again?
I don't know.
San Francisco.
I don't know if that's exactly how. I don't know if he had to leave the NFL to run in the Olympics.
He didn't have to leave the NFL, but he the NFL didn't work out. Was my recollection.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Like
I mean, he's
time.
like a straight burner.
Yeah.
Obviously, he ran in the Olympics.
Can we talk about
real good scouting take by me?
He's like basically a sprinter.
What, Gretch?
I was talking with some of my subs today, doing a little Q&A that I do on Wednesdays, and they're asking me for trades and stuff, and just kind of saying like, I don't know, it's tough, and giving advice where I can. But one of them responded and pointed out that it feels like there's a lot of guys that have good or bad to their profile, and there's something that I dug into while writing, I don't know, part 1 intro to Stealing Signals or something this week, but where we sit right now, every position has a few good players, huge gaps, and then just like a logjam. So at quarterback and FFPC scoring, there's 5 QBs above 25 points per game, then a 4-point per game gap. And then everyone else is 21 or lower. And from 19 to 21, there's I'm looking at it here, 11 QBs in that 2-point per game gap. Right? There's 5 above. Burrow's reached that group. The rest, Hurts, Allen, Jackson, Mahomes. Wide receiver, removing guys who have played 3 or fewer games, which removes Michael Thomas and DeAndre Hopkins, and currently injured guys, which removes Marquise Brown. There are 6 receivers that are at 19.5 points per game or higher, and there's a 3 points per game gap to the next one. The 6 guys that are up there, the top 5 by ADP, including Diggs and Adams, and Tyreek Hill, who's a second-round pick, and then there's a huge gap. Tight end, you have obviously Andrews and Kelsey, and then a 6 points per game gap, or 5 points per game gap until the next one. Running back, obviously a little bit different because of value changes and stuff. Like Breece Hall lists at 16.6 points per game. He was on his way to his 3rd straight 20-point game.
Yeah,
that doesn't really reflect his current role. Ken Walker doesn't reflect his current role. Travis Etienne's points don't reflect his current role. But there is actually gaps at running back as well. But doesn't it feel like this year in fantasy football, we just have a clusterfuck outside of the top? And it's the elite names that are in the high group. It's Kelsey and Andrews. It's the 5 or 6 receivers are all 1st or 2nd round picks. And then there's that gap, 3 points per game from 19.5 to 16.5. No one in between there. QB, same thing. They're mostly all high picks. Burrow has now ascended. Running back is the one where we have Josh Jacobs, but why anything?
League winner. the most important player in all of fantasy.
He honestly might be.
He is.
They're just leaning on him, dude.
He is
right
the
now,
most
but
important
like
player in all of fantasy right now.
Right now, yeah, he has been so far. But I mean, and it all looks pretty sustainable. So I don't. Yeah,
I would say
sorry,
as of last week, I would have said it was Andrews, but it is Jacobs this week. But then like he's also been on a really hot streak. Like once he has a down game, well, I don't know. That's probably not fair. He has 3 straight 30-point games. Like Jacobs is
and just as you like, but just to your point, there haven't been a lot of guys. Like even Andrews was drafted very early,
right?
As good as he was, like what, like was he that much different than Kelsey? Like, you know, I don't think he.
I feel like it should be Drake London, like what he was doing from a target share perspective and everything right away.
But that's every player is like there's some positives and there's some negatives. Like what how do we do our jobs, guys? That's what I want to talk about. How do you recommend anything right now?
I'm excited about. You know who guy I'm excited about?
Projection system.
I have a projection system.
I'm excited about Alec Pierce. I think Alec Pierce could be. I think Alec Pierce could take the #1 spot in Indy.
There we go.
Well, this is a wild take. Wow.
I know it seems like a wild take, but let me pull up the stats on this because it's actually kind of crazy how close he's been already to Michael Pittman in some of the key stuff I'm looking at. And now he gets a quarterback that is a downfield guy. So it's like kind of perfect. So, right, the route rate between the two is there's a pretty big gap over the course of the season. But his routes were like way up last week. Let me get it. So Pittman ran a route on 100% of dropbacks last week. That's kind of Pittman's thing. He's always out there. But Pierce ran a route on 96% of dropbacks last week. I mean, he's there. Like there's no projection on the roll. He's out there. And then when you look at the per route stuff, if you look at
that was the first week. Like he just elevated to the 90s. Yeah.
Yes. If you look at targets per route run, it's 21% to 17%. But Pittman's getting targeted almost twice as far or twice as shallow than Pierce. Pierce has a 12.08 out to 6.8 for Pittman. So the weighted targets per route run are like basically identical. Yards per route run basically identical, 1.66 to 1.59. So now they're running the same routes. Like if you've got the same yards per route run, both are supported by target volume at basically the same. They're both equally sustainable yards per route run. They're both about to run the same amount of routes. One guy's getting a quarterback who is a better fit for his skill set. And looking at the first read stuff, Pierce has been targeted. He's seen a first read target on 16% of his routes compared to 14% for Pittman. So he's actually like the system might be built around Pierce going forward. They might be like, this is the guy we want to prioritize. It's possible.
But
great take. And then midway through, Pete goes big screen with just random
Marquise fully zoned out.
I don't really know what you were saying.
I got to take the L on this.
Jobs, Ben. Like
I thought he was a sprinter. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought he was too. But there were a lot of opportunities for like regular home league advice, like the first 7 weeks to like give, like Breece Hall, you could have, gotten on early. Kenneth Walker, you could have gotten on early. Godwin, like there were definitely opportunities out there.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like,
in
I'm running signals every week. I'm doing my job. And
or you could listen to what I'm trying to tell you right now about Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce. Every signal is pointing to Alec Pierce emerging as potentially the guy on the Colts. Go get him.
I literally have him as a drop in one of my leagues, and now I got to go change this. Apparently,
do not drop Alec. That would be honestly like a major mistake.
Okay, all right, I believe you. Hey, God, I have to ask you a question, Leone. Someone asked a question. We got to take advantage of you being here. Where's this question? Here we go. From Andrew. Andrew says, Bills, Leone, do you think Shakir could eat into McKenzie usage? Because we also had been having a decision on should we keep Shakir on some of these rosters.
This is what I'm talking about.
I have been a little bit of the anti-McKenzie guy from the get-go. I feel like when the offseason first started, everyone forgot about McKenzie and he was like a really good pick. And then it like totally flipped. And I'm just not sure he's like good enough to be exactly what they want, like the super reliable slot wide receiver. So I think there's room for Shakir to eat in. I'm just worried they're both gonna I think Shakir has more contingent value, though. Like if one of the outside wide receivers got hurt, I think it'd be Shakir you would want, not McKenzie, which is maybe the more important thing. I think like who plays more now might just be a little bit of a distraction. I don't think either are going to be super startable.
That was really good advice, actually. But that was a question I was talking about. Like, I mean, this one's asking about what are we doing with Romeo Doubs? Like, I mean, I have no fucking idea. Probably cutting him. Probably that quote from Aaron Rodgers this week about how guys need to lose snaps was about him. Who else would it be about? It's not about Lazard. He loves Lazard. Cobb's hurt. I mean, maybe it's about AJ Dillon.
But Lazard's probably out this week, so I kind of feel like you got to give Doubs one more chance.
Right. His snaps are staying up is my thing. It's like, yeah, he hasn't looked good. He hasn't performed. Until he loses that role, there's still a potential that he actually starts to click in it.
Yeah, I feel like Doubs is one more. Like if Lazard's out and he sucks again, it's probably like dead and not happening. But he's probably going to get a pretty big opportunity in a game where they have to pass a lot. Unless they just banish.
I think you're just holding. Right away. But like that was what my in the Q&A, my subs comment was. I feel like a lot of these guys are just holds, and like that's what it feels like. That's what I mean. I feel like that's kind of what you're saying with Shakir. Like a lot of these guys, you can just be like, yeah, he's a hold. Like he's not a buy or a sell. He's a hold. Like, okay, but that's everybody in fantasy right now.
There's got to be some guys that aren't.
There's got to be some. They're there somewhere.
You could buy Traylon Burks right now. I don't know.
Yeah, have you guys seen this one? Rodgers wanted AJ Green to Green Bay. I mean,
oh my god.
So this is a thing. This is kind of an interesting football point. Is that Cliff Kingsbury last week played Rondale Moore on the outside?
Yeah.
So but you know what? I'm with it, dude. I get it. I get it. Robbie Anderson wasn't ready. He only played like 20-some% of the snaps. His option was to play AJ Green for a single fucking route or play Greg Dortch, and he played Greg Dortch. That meant Rondale Moore was outside.
You get the coaching, but like you're not with it for Rondale Moore's value. Like going
it's horrible for Moore.
Why not put Dortch? Why not put Dortch outside? If you're going to do a sacrificial lamb outside,
that's true. That's true. It still is Cliff, though. It's still Cliff. Yeah. That's a good point, Pete. But I was like, you know what? Fucking AJ Green, he should not be out there.
Wait, did you say Rodgers wants AJ Green in Green Bay?
Yes, that's the report. Yes, that's an actual thing.
Oh fuck yes,
dude.
He's able to watch that much football. I'm convinced. They must like. Going off of memories from 3 years ago.
Have you guys seen Sammy Watkins run routes
basketball? This year? Like if LeBron James had no control over his team, it would be like so much better. You know, they bring in someone like Russ, like these guys that just.
I'm so excited for AJ Green, Sammy Watkins, and Randall Cobb routes in like 5 weeks. Oh my god,
dude! Aaron Rodgers is so fucking checked out of football. This dude wants to go to Columbia, do ayahuasca, go on Pat McAfee show and talk shit about his teammates. Like this guy's just so over. Actually,
why didn't he retire, man? Why didn't he just fucking retire?
The thing I was talking about with Sean today was he comes into these press conferences and he talks about how the importance of words, and he doesn't like that the other guys in the teams are saying like I don't remember who he was coming down on. I think Jair Alexander a couple weeks ago got asked about them getting beat by whoever, the Giants. I think their first big loss, the Giants in London. And he was like, yeah, it sucked. Like we didn't play well, you know? And then Rodgers had that whole thing where he was like, I don't like that. I'm going to talk to Jair about that. Like in front of the media, Rodgers was saying this. I don't like that we're like putting that energy out there and expressing these negative things. It's like, dude, all he was saying was like, they suck. They sucked. Like he was saying what happened. But the flip side of that is you watch Aaron Rodgers play, he just sulks through 4 quarters. Like, what about his body language? He cares so much about words. His body language on the football field right now is terrible. He looks pissed off.
He doesn't care so much about words. He was pissed off that Jair called him out, so he called him out with words.
Right.
Like, but you're just doing it now. You're just like, I care so much about words, and that's why I'm saying in the media that Jair's being an asshole. Like, what? What are you talking about? You just did it.
Geez, Lawrence says Harrison Bryant went for $555 in one of his FBGs. My God, Leone, would you say that individual jumped the shark?
I certainly would. I mean, what are you doing? In most of these leagues, there's like a random tight end you could pick up to score. There's more random tight ends who might score out there than there are running backs right now. I'll tell you that much.
No, seriously. That Javier's quote right here is great. He met AJ Brown. He mixed up his colors while at TMT.
Oh, wow, that is an incredible comment, Javier.
That's pretty good.
I'm old. I have to go. This is
okay.
bedtime.
I was gonna suggest doing a quick underdog draft, but Leone, I'll let you get out of here.
All right.
Love
See you guys.
See ya.
Do you guys want to do one of these real quick before we
Sure.
bounce?
I haven't done one in weeks and weeks.
Yeah, I've been
going on with the
trying
Badge Bros tomorrow. So
are you?
Yeah.
Nice. I should also mention, I've been mentioning it here, the Badge Bros, we just started a channel for them in the Deposit Kingdom. So they've been hanging out in there, excited to host them. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Badge Bros, it's Nez, Numi, and John Warner. They are covering these Underdog daily contests across all sports, doing an awesome job, tons of streams, and highly recommend hopping in the Deposit Kingdom Discord if you're already there for ship chasing. They're right next door. You can swing by if you're trying to make cookies and don't have sugar. You just head over to the Badge Bros channel and they'll hook you up. That's the friendliness we have going on there.
I was on with John a couple weeks ago. It was a good time.
For sure. Ball is life. Are you inferring that we're drunk or that you're drunk? I mean, I've had a few sips, but I don't know.
I had 2 beers. I didn't need another. I'm sober.
I've been drinking some wine. Once we started talking about Kyle Pitts, I started pouring wine.
Yeah. Once I heard Leone was on.
My God. Look at this fucking Badge Brigade here. My God.
Nez is in there.
We got Paul in there. We got I was inverted. Jeez. Yeah, this
Imagine
one
being one of the non-badges in this draft. Good luck. Good luck.
Oh.
So this is tell me what this is. Tell the audience what we're doing.
No, what are we playing?
Yeah.
Maybe we should be worried. Since I've not done any of these and also don't know how it works.
What is it that we're doing here?
It's the exact same thing as the Battle Royale, except, and so it's for week 8 exclusively, but instead of being a 6-person, it's a 12-person. So we're going to have in 6 rounds. So we're going to have 72 picks as opposed to 36. So it's a smaller contest than the Battle Royales.
So I mean, I've obviously done tons of Battle Royales, but for the people who don't know about the Battle Royales, you draft a 6-man team, and what are the starting lineups? All right, one QB,
so
one
QB, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, 1 tight end, just 6 rounds.
Everyone's in your lineup. No bench, no best ball element. Got it.
Exactly. Yep. And in these, like in the Battle Royales, because it's only 6 teams and only 36, like everyone kind of stays out of your way, you know, like if you're setting up a specific stack. Whereas in this one where you have the full snake, like we had this happen last night on Club Top Shot where we took Tyreek Hill early, but like the Waddle owner grabs Tua coming back at the 2-3 wrap or the 1-2 wrap. So you can't even get Tyreek stacked with Tua. So you do have to think through your stacking a little bit more than you would in the Battle Royale.
It's like a puzzle.
I would go as far as calling it a puzzle.
I'm pulling
I mean,
projections right now.
Yeah, Stephen Rooney says no elite tight ends. This is very true. We got Kittle, Goddard, Hawkinson, Ertz. I mean, we got whenever Taysom Hill is tight end 5 on the slate, you know, there is no Kelsey or Mark Andrews. Someone, you got John.
This is
you guys
Sunday only. Got it.
Sunday only. Yep. It is.
Wait,
it's
is
like
it
the
Sunday,
main
Monday, or just it's not Thursday?
It's the same as the DraftKings main slate. So 1 p.m.
It's
and
not
4
even
p.m.
Sunday Night Football. Got it. All right.
Nope.
Chiefs are on.
John,
5,
what's the legend of this freezer guy? I've seen you guys talking about him. Is this just a mysterious grinder? Is that what it is? Feed the freezer. What games do you guys like? Do you like this week? I assume
I wrote about 20,000 words about macro concepts in last week. Over the last couple days, literally don't know who's playing who.
There's a couple. Let's see. I'm pretty excited about some receivers. I think Justin Jefferson's in a great spot.
Gone.
I think Devontae Adams is in a great spot.
Gone.
Like all the A lot of the studs are in really good spots, I think.
AJ Brown gone. DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Waddle. I mean, you guys jumped the
Amon-Ra
St.
Brown gone? Did Jamar Chase go?
Amon-Ra is still available.
I mean, he's in a great spot.
Well, do you want to do Waddle? I mean, there's a chance that he would come back to us.
Amon-Ra's in a nice spot. It's like the matchup last week. I made him the cover boy, and obviously, apologies to the world for that. But
cool. He went one pick because they're playing each other. We would have wanted both sides of that game, right?
But the Lions, I think, are in a really good spot. Like Brett, you were talking about the low ADOT stuff. The Dolphins have a good pass rush, but it's not great like Dallas's, and they don't have a great secondary. Dallas' secondary is actually really good. So it's like a similar setup. I thought last week they would really lean on Amon-Ra St. Brown. They probably would have. Who knows? But this week they'll probably lean on him in a big way, and they should be more effective overall.
OG Mans fan, my guy Jason, where can we find Pat's game breakdowns again? On NBCSportsEdge.com, now called Roto World. Every Friday at 6 a.m. it goes live. Is that basically correct, Pat?
That's basically right, yeah.
Friday, well, I know because go to Twitter if you can't find it. He's going to tweet it out.
Well, we featured
rotoworld.com, baby.
You never even responded to that, Pat, when I was like, we're running an excerpt of the walkthrough in the Fantasy Life newsletter now. I was like, did you know about this? And you never even responded to that comment. So I'm asking you, did you know about
when did you say that before? I don't recall. That comment never entered my brain. I didn't ignore it.
It must have been like Thursday because we were running it Friday. And then I was asking Jordan, I was like, I'm pretty sure Pat's still working on this. And then Ray must have sent over an excerpt. Did you even see that? We ran into Amon-Ra.
Yeah, well, I've been wanting to talk about this because it's so funny. Like,
do you guys want to do Tua? Do you want to just stack it?
Sure. Yeah, just stack it up.
All right, sorry.
Let's stack that bitch up. See, some fun summer stuff. This is still live.
Yeah,
this is
fun.
still fun.
Having fun.
We're still having fun. We're still having fun. Oh no, Pete, I've been meaning to talk about that because it's so funny. There's like all these channels, like I guess like Ed talked to like people who are Fantasy Life, and then like Ray talked to me, and he's like, we needed this word count. It needs to be over to Pete by this time, and I'm like, I'm talking to all these a million people have talked, and ultimately it's just boiling down to like me sending you some words. Like,
well, dude, I meant to message you because I was like, I saw the blurb. It was the Amon-Ra, and I was like, we have to frame this somehow. And then I was like, are we gonna say like favorite stack? And then I was like, well, we need to check with Pat and make sure we're not putting words in his mouth. And then ultimately I never even reached out.
because I read it and I was like, it was sort of like it was like Pat loves golf, and I was like, I don't actually, but whatever. Like, because I never talked to you. But
well, now you know.
I already sent it over. I already sent over what I do is I basically find something that I'm like, I've done this twice. This is the only second time. But I already sent it over, and it's about Hurts and AJ Brown.
All right, can you just save me some time now and just tell me like how you want me to frame this? What do you want to say? Your favorite stack of the week, to the moon, Yahtzee? What do you want me to say about it?
That I think the Eagles are set up very well to execute their primary game plan, which is to throw down.
Yeah, that is not going to play. That is no that. My God,
you're going good. The Eagles are set up well. The Eagles are set up well.
Look, I'm not trying to. This is not the punchy version yet. I'm just trying to explain the idea behind the thing. The idea behind the thing is that I think the Eagles, they've shown a couple different flavors, but their primary game plan when they can protect Hurts is that they want to throw downfield, and AJ Brown is the primary beneficiary when they will play like that. So I don't know.
All right,
now the
AJ Brown to the fucking moon. That's the tagline.
That's what I heard. That's all I ever hear. But that's what
all you ever hear, Gretch.
I mean, that's another one. When I was talking about the elite guys, I mean, he is set up so well. I think AJ Brown, Jefferson, Adams are all like set up for monster games.
I feel like people are. You can even kind of. I guess this ADP here is still strong, but it's almost like people aren't quite viewing AJ Brown in that elite tier just because he's had a couple of.
He belongs.
Maybe it's not that he's had down games, but he just hasn't had the monster ceiling games that some of the other guys have had. Gretch, you want to speak on that?
Oh, AJ Brown is elite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
What best receiver of this or any generation? What do you want me to speak on? The man literally walks on water. I mean, I don't know what there is to talk about.
What I'm trying to say is we are due for like a 100-yard 2 TD game from AJ Brown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The second anyone starts thinking that he's not among the elite is when AJ Brown has a 100-yard 2 TD game. It's like clockwork. It makes so much sense. Pat's absolutely right. Great tagline for this week. It's going to happen.
The tagline is Jalen Hurts has not been protected all that well in several games this season. And in those games, they've kind of gone to the screen game with Devontae Smith. But in this game, they shouldn't be.
It's a great tagline.
This is a great tagline.
Yeah.
How about AJ Brown rips the Steelers deep?
Okay, that was weirdly sexual. Weirdly sexual.
Yeah, that was like I was uncomfortable as you said that.
AJ Brown gets off downfield.
You'll be beating your meat to AJ Brown once he's done with the Steelers. I say we go all in on this game. Give me a Hawkinson, a Mostert. What do you guys think?
Hawkinson makes sense.
Yeah, let's do Hawk. Let's get that tight end position.
I mean,
stack that bitch up.
He's entering the elite tier. Bring back, stack that bitch up.
His volume is actually pretty good. Wait, Lawrence, what was the AJ Brown subtweet?
He did a reaction thing, just a bunch of like confused faces to the Russell Wilson thing.
Man.
So Nez asking thoughts on Dolphins -3.5 at Detroit. I feel like everyone's writing off Detroit because they just are coming off of 2 bad spots on the road at New England and on the road in Dallas. Yeah. I like Detroit. I don't know.
I don't hate that for Detroit.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think that's right. Because fuck you, Nez.
Yeah, Nez, that was our pick, bud. You knew Gretch wanted it because he dropped it in the private chat. That's how you knew he wanted it.
So I was gonna take him over Hawkinson, but then I didn't see him on the screen, so I was like, maybe he'll come back. I was sweating it in the third. I was like, we gotta get Swift, right?
Yeah. This is what happens when you draft with the fucking badge bros. There's nothing sneaky. They've already
I thought we could
covered
sneak it through because he wasn't even on ADP there, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck. That would have been fun. Hawkinson
that
and
does
Swift.
feel about right to me, by the way, that line.
Yeah, I mean that's 6.5 points off the base, which would be Detroit -3. Like Dolphins are a touchdown better than the Lions. They're not more. I don't think they're 10 points better.
This is a bad take. I'm a Dolphins fan. If Tua went down, it would not make a difference. If anything, I like Teddy Skylar better. That's a very bad take.
It's like it's like a funny bit.
Which we love.
I laughed at that later. I wrote it down in my journal and I laughed about it later. You were serious?
Tua's played. I mean, look, he didn't play that well against Steelers, but
DJ Moore, guys. I mean, he's the best player here.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you want, Pat, over DJ
Moore? At
Atlanta?
Jesus.
God, there's gonna be no fucking volume in that game. That's
Doesn't
it. That's all we
when
have.
You have a 50% target share.
That's right.
I mean, honestly, I'd probably take Brandon Cooks over him.
The good thing is to stack that game up, we can take Pitts on the comeback, double tight end. Then we're locked in. I mean, then we got it.
No.
Pollard. Why did I go off the screen? Yeah, I thought Pollard is I think a smash where he went here. I think Pollard's a top 5 back this week. I think you have Saquon, Henry, Jacobs, and then I think Pollard.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Leone's
although you know what, I've been kind of
down.
Well, hang on.
Leone's got a ceiling.
I'll shut the fuck up then.
That's right. I did put DJ Moore on the.
There's someone else that I love that we.
I thought that was pretty funny. I didn't know because I haven't really been talking about DJ Moore much this year. I didn't know that I was going to be on the thumbnail looking at DJ Moore, but you cracked me up with that.
Oh.
London. Pat.
When you were talking about those running backs, I was like, I think ETN might be top 5 for me.
Yeah, we're talking main slate here.
Yeah, ETN. I like that. Pollard, Leone's early projection on Pollard, not great, Bob.
On who?
Pollard.
I don't know. I don't know if he's updated for Zeke out. Has he?
He has Zeke out, and Pollard is still. Oh, you know what? His ceiling projections have not updated for that.
Okay.
Base projection is updated, and Pollard is indeed in the top 5. And if I told you that in full PPR, Pollard was 1/10 of a point away from the literal top of all the running backs, the number 1 running back, would you believe that?
I would, because hasn't that been the fucking Tony Pollard thesis for 19 years?
It has.
He's like literally the RB1. He's 1/10 of a point away from being RB1. Derrick Henry's at the top. Pollard right behind him.
Yeah, I talked because I was writing on that for the newsletter intro tomorrow, and I asked Dwayne what he was going to have him ranked at if Zeke was out, and he had him at RB4.
I bet. I don't quote Leone on that, because I bet that's still updating, because the ceiling has not updated yet.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so. I think it's such a logical thing with how they haven't involved a third running back too. Like, there's so many of these backfields where you can be like, no, this guy.
The ceiling just updated. Leone said he had to go to get to bed. He's updating projections.
He's updating the ceiling.
Wow. This fucking guy.
The terrace is the roof. Yes, they're a little Terrace Marshall love out there these days.
So is our running back going to be one of the Atlanta guys to stack with DJ Moore, or do you not get that ridiculous?
No, we can do whatever.
Tyler Algier.
I mean, we should probably just do Najee.
I mean, I think we could also take Jamal Williams if he falls to us.
Why would
his snap share was back up to 77% last week?
You're serious?
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit.
I mean, look, he fucking sucks, but like, we're talking about Deontay Foreman's left. Benjamin is in a committee role. Like, he's going to play like almost 80%.
Look, he fucking sucks, but let me tell you.
Sucks. But the thing about it, like, I was reminded, because he was actually elusive last week, that he did rank 12th in elusive rating. Like,
did you see that one play? He looked really good on that one.
Yeah,
play.
he's like a bigger Josh Jacobs or something. Like, he's not good.
So Leone's got a ceiling, 1 behind Michael Carter and 1 behind Chuba Hubbard. 2 behind Chuba Hubbard. And 3 behind Brian Robinson. Cheers.
But he's got him ahead of Deontay Foreman, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And he's got him ahead of Benjamin, doesn't he?
I
really hope he does.
He does have him ahead of Eno.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Dude,
like,
we might just have to fucking bully tight end this with Kyle Pitts.
What about Tyler Algier? Where's Tyler Algier on this? He might have a higher. Tyler Algier has a higher ceiling than.
All right, well, we better take Algier to stack it up.
What about Jamal Williams? Doesn't Jamal Williams make sense if we're going all in on this game?
No, DeAndre Swift's practicing in full. Williams is a shitty committee back. Williams, if Swift is going, is not a better pick than Harris. Like, do not make me fucking stand Harris. I hate Harris. I never wanted to.
No, you love Harris, and we hear it loud and clear.
Yeah.
We do also get another wide receiver pick here.
I think we take Harris, dude. That's like a pretty 80% of the snaps this week. It's like a decent pick at running back.
I wrote
Gretch,
off.
Who's your suggestion? Gretch, I need
a
suggestion.
It's
but you got to give me a name if I'm Algier with you.
Algier. Fine, we can take Harris. Pat hates it.
I mean, I'm correct.
Right,
I don't
Pat,
want to be correct.
Pat. This is for Pat.
I wish
why
I wasn't
are you
right.
booing me? I'm right.
Yeah, it is a why are you booing me? I'm right. He's the correct pick.
I mean, not by the ceiling projection I'm looking at that has Tyler Algier higher. And I don't think it's wrong. What's Najee Harris's tournament winning ceiling game?
He gets in the end zone twice. Because he's fucking 240 pounds and he can do that.
All right, that's fair.
And he's getting all the snaps. That's it. He's Leonard Fournette. He's Leonard fucking Fournette, dude.
Yeah, that's fair.
He could have a huge game because he catches passes and he scores touchdowns and he sucks and he fucking blows.
You're really selling me on this pick.
I love when you aggressively.
I'm mad at you guys for making me
aggressively tout a guy by saying how bad he is.
He fucking sucks, dude. He sucks so bad. But look, he plays like 80% of the snaps.
This guy you're making me pick.
I'm like, dude. I thought it was like, oh, I'm gonna have to mention Najee, and then you guys would go, oh yeah, Najee, he shouldn't be here, or like whatever, we'll take him. And then you made me fucking actually tout him.
Did Devonta Smith go, or like any of the Eagles bringbacks all gone?
Dude, we're so past Devonta Smith. I mean, we're in Quez Watkins territory. If you want to bring
Myers
back
season.
I'm down with
Jacoby Myers is a good ass pick. That's a good pick. My God.
There you go. There you go.
Not super
honestly, a better pick than DJ Moore.
What contest is this? This is the goal line stand on Underdog. It's a smaller version of their big Hail Mary tournament, and it's
everything went to hell when Nez took DeAndre Swift. We were off to a hot start.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, Tua, and Hawkinson, and then we ended up with more Najee, Jacoby Myers.
Look at this Nez team. A little Ehlinger to Michael Pittman. Didn't you hear Alec Pierce is who you want with him, Nez? I mean, come on, stop being such a fish. What does DeAndre Swift do for this team, Nez, other than snipe us? I mean, honestly.
Embarrassing.
It's really embarrassing by Nez. Unsubscribe to the Badge Bros.
Good luck finding another Discord, Nez.
I love that
buddy.
We're the only team that's taken a running back at rounds 4, 5, or 6. Like, we were the 0 RB guys on this draft. I love it.
Bunch of fucking fish. How does this work again? How does it score?
I know. Davis did tout Garrett Wilson on the Swolecast today.
See, the thing about Algier is we would have got some differentiation points more so.
We're getting differentiation because no one wants to draft Najee Harris. I assume he's undrafted in most of these.
All right.
All right.
He looks healthy and he's getting all the snaps. God,
you guys heard it here first.
He has all year. I will absolutely admit that.
And he had a Liz Frank sprain, so it's like totally possible he's able to bounce off dudes again instead of falling down.
Did
Najee Harris? That's the guy we're in on from here on out.
God damn it,
Pat, are you going to put him as the cover boy for the walkthrough? You want?
Yeah, I'm going to put him as a cover boy now. I'm putting him as a cover boy.
Scrap the AJ Brown stuff. Send me over some Najee
Harris
Harris stuff. He fucking blows, but you do have to take him in the 5th round of your Underdog draft.
I do this whole thing in the walkthrough, and sometimes I just let it gets away from me for a second, and then I had to bring it back. But I do this thing. In fairness to Harris, because I dashed him. He no longer ranks last in NFL Next Gen's rush yards ever expected per attempt, having done enough to pass Cam Akers last week. So that's something. And then I talk about who knows, maybe he could be elusive, Josh Jacobs, but I was but probably not this week because this is not a good matchup.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at cumulative rush yards over expected, he's still you're saying per attempt, fair, but cumulative, he's way lower than anyone else.
No, is he in cumulative?
Yeah.
So he's still last?
Total yards under expected because he's had the volume.
Oh, because he's had the most yards under expected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, man. Minus 95.
Just giving up 100 rushing yards.
Mark says, what if Najee is the Josh Jacobs of midseason drafts?
Well, that's actually what it's coming down to for me is that I'm realizing that in 2 years, Najee Harris is going to be the guy you need in the fucking 9th round. And we're going to be we're not taking Najee fucking Harris, Leone. And he's going to fucking blow up.
Are you parodying your future self?
Yeah, I'm parodying me in 2024. Leone, shut the fuck up. We're not taking Najee Harris. And then he's going to blow up at a reduced cost. That's where we're headed. And I'm just trying to remember that now before it owns me.
All right. I'd say it was a fun show, but I don't want to lie to you guys.
You got to listen to me go on a rant about quarterback mobility and film takes.
Yeah. I dragged Leone out of the show basically because he just wanted to talk through our waiver wire bids, and then it was just a very painful exercise for him.
Yeah.
Pat's got the walkthrough dropping Friday at 6 a.m. Gretch, what do you got coming? You got Stealing Signals out this week, Stealing Bananas, anything else?
Nope. Oh, Badge Bros tomorrow. I'm gonna go on.
Oh, you're doing Badge Bros.
Chat with the
I have a
guys
funny note.
God, it's 10:30 my time, so 1:30 Eastern. We'll be on the Badge Bros. We'll be hanging out. If you're interested, if you're not a subscriber to Stealing Signals, I had a bonus post that was free at bengretch.substack.com. You can find it. There's little lock buttons on the ones that are paid. There's one that was not paid, and I think it was pretty good, honestly. So go read it.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I did put that in the title. We were going to talk about our Cranking Purple team. I was trying to book Crack Rock to come on. It didn't work out. We'll preview that team soon, though. It is our highest scoring team right now. It's a Jalen Hurts, Mark Andrews, Ramondre Stevenson, Dalvin Cook team. Pretty fun team. We'll talk about that in coming weeks. We're going to have the Ship Chase Yacht Club guys on next week. Anything else here I'm forgetting, guys?
Well, I want to mention, so we'll be back on Fantasy Football Happy Hour on Friday, but in an interesting twist for a Ship Chaser, the segment is much shorter than it was last week because we need to make time for running back Austin Eckler. So that's fun. Yeah,
he's on bye week, so he's got time.
He's on bye week, yeah. So the Ship Chaser gets bumped for a running back. It's a tough scene.
Wow, Austin Eckler kind of playing the field. I thought he was a Yahoo man. Now he's headed over to Big Peacock.
He's a big fantasy guy. He's a big fantasy guy.
Yeah. He's coming for our job.
Hey, if he wins us the 10K, I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's true.
I got a better record than AJ Dillon and Tyler Algier in the Sleeper Bowl right now. So that's how I'm getting my rocks off right now.
Beating them at their own game.
Beating them at their own game. It's like you guys come into my neck of the woods. Better come clean. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.